Hey, there we are. Hey, Facebook, YouTube, how y'all doing tonight? Scarpad from Scarpad's Domain with yet another Scarpad Sci-Fi Sojourns, and tonight we're going into Roger Corman territory for Battle Beyond the Stars from 1981. Roger Corman, the king of low-budget pictures, all sorts of stuff. This was a $2 million budget, the most ever for a Roger Corman film, and this one did pay back in spades. Had a top cast: Richard Thomas, George Papard, Robert Vaughn, Sybil Danning, John Saxon, to name a few. The movie was based on, obviously, The Magnificent Seven, a Western tooled for outer space. Even Robert Vaughn was kind of playing the same type of character he played in the original 1960s Magnificent Seven. And this was written by John Sayles, who went on to do other films for Roger Corman. He wrote Piranha. He wrote Alligator. He wrote The Howling. He even wrote an early draft of E.T. for Steven Spielberg that they didn't use. And then, of course, he became a top flight director in his own right. The original art director for this movie was sacked. Who took over? James Cameron, who was already building models for Roger Corman, became the art director for this film. Recommended by Galen Hurd, who would become his partner and his wife eventually. Who else worked in it that is notable? Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton was a carpenter on the sets, building the sets of this movie. Also, who was notable for this? James Horner. This is only his third score. He went on to do, of course, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, which sounds a lot like this movie because most of James Horner's soundtracks did kind of sound the same. But he went on to win an Oscar with Cameron for Titanic. So a lot of different things in this. Footage for James Cameron movies were always reused in other movies. And of course, this movie had footage that was reused for the Corman films, Space Raiders and the Fantastic Four. And a prequel comic came out with this in 2010 that kind of talked about the background of some of the film. But let's bring in our guest here, our main man, Dylan from Dylan the Horror Show, my co-host. How you doing tonight, Dylan? Looking good?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Got my steel book ready.
Yeah, I got mine back there somewhere. But
yeah. Steel book that they did. Looks pretty good too. A little 2K scan. I'd recommend.
Yeah, it looked really good. Yeah, it looked really good.
Because I know they had that regular Blu-ray, but that was just like a generic 1080p
crappy scan of the movie. That looked really good. Sure, I think that is now going to come out in 4K eventually. But
I'm sure.
I will probably pick it up because I am a big fan of this movie. So I saw it in the theater when it first came out. Also, was
this
in the house tonight. Link, my man Link, how's it going?
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Not too much. So this movie of Roger Corman, I saw this in the theater in 1981. I was a wee young man, probably about 16 or 17 when I saw this originally. You would think this movie would play, it was meant for kids, but it really wasn't. Watching this again, I realized just how much adult stuff in this, where they're talking about sex and there's a lot of blood and there's violence and a little bit of gore in there.
Some of the outfits, a little suggestive.
That's right. Richard Thomas gives a pretty adult performance. Obviously, this movie was inspired by, or let's put it out, because of Star Wars, because we had him playing almost like a farmer who's the last survivor member of almost like a Jedi-like race called the Alpha Corsairs. Was that Zed guy played by Jeff Corey, the blind dude there, who has the ship, and then the ship is controlled by like a Kit type of robot, kind of like a Knight Rider type of robot. She was good. I just rewatching this again. I really appreciate the story because while it is kind of a little bit derivative of both Magnificent Seven, Star Wars, it really it had a little heart to it, I thought, going into this, because we get to see him meeting the various mercenaries, Cowboy played by George Papard, of course, and we got Robert Vaughn, who just wants to go get a meal and a place to die, and they end up burying him in that nice little scene at the end, give him a meal, bury him at the meal. We see Sybil Danning. Oh, my God, Sybil Danning. Who could forget Sybil Danning from this movie as Valkyrie of the X-Men or whatever she called herself there. And then we had those great dudes, the white dudes there, that were kind of
Oh,
cool.
with the eye.
Doughboy, and they had they could psychically control each other, and then that great scene with John Saxon getting the Doughboy's hand there, and he tried to kill himself, and he got to cut it off. He goes, "Next time, do something about this." John Saxon, man, he takes every movie he's in. I don't care what it is, Nightmare on Elm Street, man. He comes to play, playing
Yeah.
a great villain in this movie. The special effects weren't all that bad for the time frame. It wasn't Star Wars, but it was pretty darn
No,
good.
I honestly was blown away by some of the shots of the
Yeah.
not necessarily the explosions, but the ships. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because I had it on high def, or the version I was watching. Like I
Yeah.
had
And a lot of
the
those were built by, I said, James Cameron, who went on to.
that blew me. I did not know that.
So
We have
yeah,
to talk about that.
yeah, James Cameron worked for Roger Corman. Piranha,
Yep.
obviously, was the film he directed for him, and he
Piranha
came up through
2. He did Piranha 2.
Piranha 2. That's right. And he
Isn't that
came,
weird juxtaposition? Is that Roger Corman directed some of the biggest, like, cheaper movies ever?
well,
Like, yeah, I
Roger
guess he had
Corman
a
Roger Corman, because he had a big studio of his own, where he could come in, make movies cheap that would make a lot of money. He was the king of the
So he'd make
drive-in,
the
the
money
king
back.
of B films. A lot of people, Ron Howard, as I said, Cameron, and a lot
But
of other people
he
came up working for him, and they
he gave
learned.
like Cameron his start, and Cameron's the guy whose
Yeah.
movies cost the most money to make, and they always make the most money
Same thing with Ron
nowadays.
Howard. Ron Howard did film which was called. It was one of those car pictures, which was like Eat Lead or something like that. And he was playing
No
a kid,
shit.
and he learned the craft of directing from Roger Corman. Most people came up through Corman Studios because he was known in the business as a guy who could really get things done, and he handed off this picture to we didn't even say the director of this, which was
Oh, he didn't direct it. Oh, I thought
Jimmy
he-
Jimmy T. Murakami, who co-directed Humanoids from the Deep for him. He directed this picture
Okay.
as well.
I was going to say, because a woman directed Humanoids from the Deep.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and they kind of co-directed it. I think there was issues with the director, and they co-directed it. But yeah, so this is first time seeing this stuff. What was your impression?
Oh yeah. I've definitely first time seeing it. It was fun. I definitely got the vibe that obviously it was influenced by the hype of something like Star Wars trying to cash in on that idea real quickly, especially the time frame. Like this came out in 1980, so this is like they saw Star Wars and like let's get something going.
Right.
But it was fun. Obviously it's budgetary issues, but it has that like old 80s camp nostalgic feel to it. Like I don't know if you ever remember, like UPN used to play like a lot of like old classic 80s movies every Sunday. They do like a marathon. This feels like this was one of those films that would have definitely been played in that block of time. It has it's bad in a lot of ways, but it's a lot of fun in a lot of ways. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I can respect it. I had a lot of fun with it.
That's cool. I know, Dylan, this isn't your first time seeing it, but you've seen it. What's the first time? How long ago was the first time you saw this? How did you see it on video or?
I think I saw it. I forget. I forget maybe where I saw it. I think I saw it just on TV or something. Or I possibly saw it on Tubi. I might have first saw it on Tubi maybe like 5 years ago. So it's not like a relatively older movie. Like I didn't grow up with it, but I believe I saw it first on Tubi. I think I just randomly, because I was going down a lot of Roger Corman movies, like after watching like Humanoids from the Deep, I saw that he did like kind of like a Star Wars based, with some Magnificent Seven tones in it too, like Star Wars meets Magnificent Seven. And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. So I threw it on, and I saw that you got one of the guys from the It TV movie, the guy who plays Bill, So I was like, that's pretty cool, even though I always thought he was a little goofy. That guy's got one big ass mole on his face. I'm sorry to say it, but I call it how I see it.
Oh, Richard Thomas.
Yeah, the guy from the It movie TV. He's got like a ponytail, and he plays Bill Denbrough. And
okay.
The
of
first,
course, that's not his biggest claim to fame.
to me, it is.
Yeah, I mean, he was John Boy Walton for like 9 years on The Waltons. Come on.
I've never even heard of it.
Never heard The Waltons? Oh my good God.
No, Steph is
Well,
with.
he always had a very, The Waltons is kind of like a family TV show taking place during the
Right.
Depression, and he was always a squeaky clean character. And
Really?
then when he played this
Was
movie,
he Enter the Dragon?
no, I don't think so. But he's
Wait,
been
the guy with the
around.
scar in his face, like going down his eye?
No.
What's his name?
Richard
That's
Thomas.
not
He
that.
played the young kid, the pilot.
Oh
of the
no,
ship.
never mind. I'm thinking of the main
And,
bad guy. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's-
now
that's
when you see him,
correct.
now when you see him in movies, he's always like the bad guy now, playing against type because he was a squeaky clean character all the time, and that's why when you saw him in this movie, this is probably the first thing he did after, or like right after the Waltons ended.
Oh, really?
And now he's talking about like sex and getting it on and stuff like that. So it was a little bit more of an adult role.
Look at Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that's right.
Man's lived
right?
wild.
But yeah,
But,
I mean, I have a lot of fun with it. I think it's a really beautifully shot movie. Actually, I think the set designs are really nice. I think the spaceships and like the outer space shots.
Yeah, that was done really well.
Yeah, it looked.
that's built by Bill Paxton.
The
Mhm.
model.
No way. What?
Yeah. Wait, you listening to my opening?
You didn't. You said it was James Cameron, not Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton was a
No, he-
carpenter. He
He
built the
said Bill
sets.
Paxton, but Steph was probably just thinking.
I was still blown away by James Cameron. Yeah, that pulled the rug from under me.
um,
Damn, bro. Bill Paxton and James Cameron were attached to this.
Yeah, well, probably where they met, and that's probably why he ended up doing Aliens. I would imagine.
Right, yeah. Definitely.
A lot of guys like Harrison Ford was a carpenter. He built a lot of
Yeah.
sets and stuff like that when he was first getting going. So
Yeah.
that's
But
how
yeah.
they broke into the movies.
Yeah, right. That's how they get their start. I've always thought it was a fun movie, though. I mean, that's why I picked up the Steel book. I definitely have always enjoyed it. It's got really cool alien characters. You got like the lizard looking dude. You get the weird white
The disfigured.
characters with the weird looking
The
eyeball
third
on their
eye.
face. Yeah, the third eye. Yeah, I mean, then you get Sybil Danning's character, obviously just iconic from her being in the Howling and all that. She's just the fun one to look at. And in that outfit too, which is very unique.
Was Sybil Danning in The Howling? I don't remember The Howling.
The Howling too.
Oh, Howling too. Okay. Well, I think probably her biggest movie before this was
Christopher Lee. Yeah,
wasn't Conan? Wasn't she in Conan?
What was it?
Wasn't she in Conan? One of the Conan movies? Sybil Danning?
I don't. Was it that or Red Sonja?
Oh, maybe it was Red
I thought it
Sonja. Okay, maybe it was Red Sonja.
I'd have to look that up. But yeah, I mean, I think overall the whole cast is good. You get like I love the kind of like the American cowboy guy. I think he's great. I think the love interest for what's his name? Who do we just say?
Yeah, this is about the same time that George Papard, the cowboy, he was in the A-Team with Mr. T.
What's his name, man? Richard Thomas. Who's the main kid?
The Dowlings.
Richard Thomas.
Richard
Yeah,
Thomas.
Richard Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think his love interest is really good.
Darlene
Obviously,
Flugel,
the evil tyrant Sador, John Saxon, is just fantastic.
He was in Enter the Dragon. That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
He was the father in Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, he was a cop in Black Christmas. I mean, the guy.
Oh shit!
Dude, John.
Yo, you just remind.
He's in
Bro.
Italian movie. I believe he's in some Italian horror movies.
And as I said, this movie was rated PG. And you can get away with a lot of stuff. I mean, those two, the aliens that worked for John Saxon, basically kidnapped Richard Thomas's sister. Remember, they beamed her up and they raped the shit out of her. They were sexually assaulting her. They beamed her up to do her. And then
there were some evil movies.
Then they all get killed when they get shot and his sister gets killed. And pretty much they all got killed. Everybody died. This is almost like Rogue One, for God's sake. At the end of it.
The only two survived.
It says Sybil was in Hercules.
Okay.
which that was
The Kevin.
that was with the guy who played the Hulk,
Oh,
Lou Ferrigno's Hercules.
well, Sybil Danning was in a ton of
Let's
stuff,
see,
genre
maybe.
stuff back in the day.
Yeah, no, it's not looking like Red Sonja or Conan. She was also in a big one that Rob Zombie used to always claim to fame. It says she was Nurse Wynn in the Rob. Speaking of Rob Zombie, she was Nurse Wynn in Zombies Halloween.
Yeah.
But one of the big ones that he used to always talk about. Well, actually, no. Not even. It's Rob Zombie's segment in the Grindhouse. She play in the Werewolf Women in the SS. She plays like one of the women in like the Nazi outfits and everything.
Oh, that trailer.
Yeah.
But she's also in like Amazon Women on the Moon, which I know you're a big fan of. Yeah. She's also in Warrior Queen, which I believe.
Yeah, she's been in a ton of stuff.
I believe that's another. Donald Pleasance is in that. Donald Pleasance and Sybil Danning are the two stars in that movie.
It's opposites.
Warrior Queen. Can you believe?
Well, they certainly whoever designed her outfit in this movie, man, it covered everything the right way, because the way she was sitting there, it was like, you know, when you're a kid watching this movie, or even a teenager,
you're looking at those angles.
I wish I did watch this as a kid, man.
But
yeah, that's why I brought up about the UPN thing, because I would have loved this had I seen it as a kid. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but even it had some nice relationships. Even the fact the old guy who was the original master of the ship, and then when the computer on there starts off really being a ball buster there, and then, you know, he gets killed, and then she gets like shot up and stuff like that, and she thinks he's the old guy and stuff, and then, you know, right before the end, everything explodes. This movie had a little bit more heart than I remember it having, as far as everybody when they're getting killed and stuff like that. They kind of took it seriously and then not seriously at the same time. It was a good balance. I mean, the movie could either be too goofy or too serious, and this found a good balance in the middle where it could be kind of serious, but yet be kind of goofy at the same time.
I liked how, this is random, but I just liked how the cowboy dude controlled his ship with like the PlayStation controller or whatever. Almost, it was pretty dope. That was a nice little touch.
You know, and of course he's there watching. He wants him to watch Custer's Last Stand and stuff like that. But and he was good. As I said, he was in the A-Team, George Pardon.
You say he did this right after he left A-Team?
I think this was right after A-Team, or right during A-Team, or right around the same time, because A-Team was on for a long time.
It says Tony Daniels did visual effects on this too, and he's the director of Hellraiser 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people came through the whole Corman studio. That's why people get time to watch Shout Factory. I think has a good on the Shout Factory TV channel. They have a good, like, I don't know, 12-part series on like Roger Corman and like his studio and all the movies. It's a great thing to watch, because the movies that came out of there, unbelievable.
What happened?
I see James Cameron and Tony Randall, but I'm not seeing anything about Bill Paxton for this.
Yeah, well, he was a carpenter. He didn't get credit.
I was going to say he's not going to get credit.
No. But
yeah, man, great film though. Great film, really good atmosphere, good characters.
Yeah.
One of the really good stories, I'd say, for a Corman film, because obviously Corman is exploitative. Like the scripts aren't always top notch, you know.
Right.
But I think a lot of that, you get good music, you get great characters, great special effects, great set designs, great like makeup effects, and just cool characters. I mean, I feel like they could have done a little trilogy in this if everybody didn't really die. You know
what came to my mind is, like, I wouldn't mind seeing something like this reimagined, like Dune has been reimagined, like for it to, you know, that they had some cool, like the torture doctor or whatever. He was like, he specializes in pain until you don't die, and he was like using the machines with his hands and shit. I thought that was
even
cool.
The twins with that like gash down their head and everything.
Yeah,
those guys are creepy as hell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even I think the writer too, as I said before, the John Sayles, he's a big writer director. I mean, he went on to do things like writer director of Baby It's You with Nicolas Cage, The Brother from Another Planet, Matewan, 8 Men Out. He also was in 8 Men Out as an actor. City of Hope, Passion Fish, Secret of Rhode Irish, Lone Star. These are all pretty big films in a day. And then, as I said, he wrote right in a row. They're writing Alligator in 1980, The Howling in 81, and Piranha in 78. I mean, for Corman, I mean, he was
all over the place.
He also did Clan of the Cave Bear. Remember that movie with what's her face there? That was an horrible movie.
Clan of the Cave Bear.
The alligator screenplay.
And he has an uncredited.
He did the screenplay for The Howling.
The Howling too.
Oh wow.
He's uncredited for writing a rewrite of Apollo 13. So he's done quite a bit of stuff. Yeah. And he's been an actor, and he's got novels out. I mean, so he's a good writer, and I think that really showed because the dialogue and everything in this movie was really good.
Yeah.
For what it was. I like you get some really good scenes, especially character moments between like the cowboy and the girl there. The girl was the older daughter from Lost in Space, the original Lost in Space TV show. That was her. So there's a lot of little cameos in this movie from other science fiction stuff. And I've always loved the film, but and the music too. The music I think is very good. The music is very sweeping and as I said, it's derivative because James Horner went on to reuse his score for a lot of different stuff. But but as I said, it was of all the low budget science fiction movies that came out, because I remember this movie came out the same time as Saturn III. I don't know if you ever saw Saturn III with Farrah Fawcett and Kirk Douglas and the giant robot. That's the one where they had Harvey Keitel. They dubbed his voice because they thought he sounded he sounded just like Britain. And that
talk about that one in Search of Tomorrow.
Right. So I mean, that was the type of movies coming out, and then we hadn't yet hit right after this. Then you started getting Terminator and Alien and all that. So Alien came out a year before, but Aliens came out a couple years after.
Yeah.
So he went when was Aliens done? That was done in 84, 85. Aliens, I think.
Ridley Scott.
So about 4 years after he did this movie, went on to do Aliens. So
Aliens is 79, or Alien is 79, and Aliens is 86.
86. Okay.
What? No way.
Yeah, that was a pretty big gap.
I didn't even know there was that big of a jump.
Yeah,
I thought it was like 4 years.
Yeah.
Pretty big gap. But
wow.
Shit.
I did not know it was that long. Could you imagine waiting that long for that sequel? But I guess you see that and you just think it's a one shot.
He waited he waited 14 years for Avatar, but I think he always meant to do more.
But that was different because you know what I mean. But
that is crazy.
It took him 4 years to build the Alien Queen, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty big movie. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, especially for 86.
I mean, if you think of all those movies, you go from Alien to Aliens, how big of a jump and how much of a more of a spectacle movie that is. Terminator to Terminator 2, same thing. Small movie to spectacle movie, and then really have it.
He's waiting on the technology.
And that's exactly right. I mean, a lot of these movies, he was waiting for the technology to catch up to what he wanted to do.
And then
because it wasn't for T2, it wasn't there because there's no way 80 and 81 he could have done the pouring the liquid metal and all that.
Yeah,
it wasn't up to that yet. He had to wait.
It was almost better he waited because
and he developed all that stuff. So he waited and he developed the tools and then he did the movie.
Exactly the same reason why he waited so long for Avatar.
Yeah, same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, but
crazy.
So these guys all learned from Corman, and there's so many good movies that Corman produced out of his studio. Like even science fiction wise, even stuff like Forbidden World and Death Race 2000 and really iconic movies that were produced very cheaply but went on to do a ton.
Terror is a good one.
Which one?
what is it? I think it's Galaxy of Terror
Yeah, Galaxy of Terror was another Corman one. Forbidden
yeah,
World.
Gotta check it out.
he did like Amazon's Barbarian Queen. He did all those exploitative like.
I mean, he saw me when I was a kid. I went to see Humanoids from the Deep, man.
Humanoids from the
Fish
Deep
guys
was
coming
great.
out. No one gave fish guys coming out of the ocean to propagate with hot blonde women. They all thought that movie was a joke, and now look, Shape of Water, same thing.
Yeah,
Same thing with a little more artsy. If it wasn't for Humanoids of the Deep, we would never had Shape of Water. They all rant about that one.
thank you, Roger Corman.
That's right. Thank you. So let's say hello to the chat. Of course, Two Gun Pedro is in the house. How you doing, Two Gun?
Yeah, Two Gun
Terry in the house.
Humanoids from the Deep on my channel too.
Evan,
I have been wanting to do that. I've been hoping
Humanoids from the Deep would be a good one to do.
Like a nice steel book from Shout.
Hey, road collecting.
Actually, what am I thinking? Humanoids does have a nice steel book. I just missed it. Fuck.
Hey, Kenneth, how's it going tonight?
Kenneth.
Sal's in the house. So thank you for coming in tonight, Sal. So of all the characters in the movie, who do you like the best? Who's your favorite character? So many in this movie. It's hard to pick.
No, there's a lot.
Yeah, for different
so
reasons.
We'll go to Steph first. Steph, what do you think character-wise?
It's
hard not to pick Sybil Danning.
Good man, that outfit. I'm gonna go John. I like the cowboy, but I'm gonna go with John Saxton's character. I liked how his little the roles I've seen him in, he's never really been. Maybe I haven't seen him in too much, but he's kind of playing like good guy-ish in what I've seen him in. Even though he entered
a lot of times too.
What's that?
He plays a cop a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah, you always kind of innately trust cops, and even in Enter the Dragon, he wasn't the sleazy guy, he wasn't. He was a good guy in Enter the Dragon, but so to see him be a villain, he had like a little accent to his voice that I respected. He was very pompous, and so I'm gonna give John Saxton
makeup.
Yeah. Bro,
I love it at the end after he has the hand cut off. He's just standing there with the arm hanging out.
Everything's blowing up. He's just looking around.
I like this, but next time get me somebody that has 5 fingers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I guess he's living forever. He's replacing parts with different people. That's why they're doing the operation at the end.
Have you guys seen a show called The Expanse?
Yeah.
Or it's on Apple. It was pretty interesting. Lee Pace plays like this emperor dude, and he clones himself.
No, that's Foundation you're thinking of.
The Foundation, yes. I get those mixed up.
Yeah.
That's on Amazon, yes. And
Apple Foundation was pretty good. It was all right. And
I like the idea of that cloning, day, dusk, dawn. Like they had an older version, a middle-aged, and then a young child version.
It's based on a book. There's a ton of those Foundation novels out, and that was a society. They all kind of like clone themselves to become the rulers and all that. It was kind of interesting. What do you think, Dylan? Who's your favorite character in the movie?
That's a tough one. Let me think. I think I'd probably go. I'm not gonna go Sybil Danning. I don't think. Man, who? I'm not saying him, but who is this guy again? The guy that's like kind of like kept.
Oh, that's Galt. Robert Vaughn. Galt.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff too. I'm trying to think of what I know him from.
Yeah, he played in The Magnificent Seven, kind of a typical. He was like a gunfighter that had to join up with the other gunfighters because he was being hunted and he wanted to blend in. So he played basically the same character in this movie they played in the original movie. He's always a bad guy usually.
I might go. I do love the main guy's love interest, Richard Thomas's love interest. She's gorgeous, but I think I might say. I think I'm gonna go with the freaking cowboy. I believe that's George Peppard. George Peppard. I really like him, man. I just think he's like just that old fashioned like
he kept it cool
American cowboy. Yeah, just like Captain Cool, man. Just like low key cool. One thing I do want to, now that Sal mentioned it, I do love the ship's AI because you always get those just regular, like just computer voiced AIs.
Right.
I thought that was like the most realistic.
It was a lot like, well, it was kind of like Kit. Was this one the same? When did Knight Rider come out?
Even Kit felt
Knight Rider might have been
even
after
Kit
this.
felt
Or
like
what?
a computer, like even had that like computer voice where I
He was
felt
like, oh, he was just sarcastic. Right.
it
Yeah.
felt more real, you know, where I
Yeah.
thought hers was a little different. But
Yeah, well, they ripped off that from the original Battlestar Galactica had an episode with Starbuck.
Cylons?
Yeah, the original Battlestar Galactica, the original one, had an episode where Starbuck had to go down to this planet, and something was up with the computer, and he got this computer AI called Quora, and it sounded just like this one and talked to him kind of just like this one did. So they kind of ripped this off a little bit. But yeah, it was good. I loved it. And the fact that she had a personality, and you felt bad for her at the end when she got shot up and she didn't know who it was. She's counting down the countdown. She's going 14, 18, 12. And it's all over the place. And then she got at the end, he comes, oh, I'm going to get you, you son of a bitch, whatever she called him. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was good. I thought that you felt bad for all these characters. These characters that were kind of like you know, you felt bad when they died in the movie. You know, all of them. You know, they gave them good deaths.
Kind of like a Rogue One type movie.
Exactly like an early Rogue One type of thing. I would say for the characters I'm going to give to those 5 clone guys. I love those guys with the when they're
white
and the fucking eating the hot dog and they each take a bite of it, and all the other guys are chewing it.
So many good characters.
And they're all chewing it. And there's no dog in this. There's no meat in it either. Yeah, but that was a good scene. And so those 5 clone Pillsbury Doughboy guys, I thought were pretty good.
Mind.
But I mean, there's a lot of good characters in it.
There really is. I couldn't say anybody was bad, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna give an honorable mention to the Torture Doctor. I thought he was so cool.
Oh yes, which was the head?
Yeah, with the scar going across his the bad guy. It was very short.
What about the guy when they lined her father, who's just now the head? In the body there, and he wants to keep him to bang his daughter there. That you preparing the suite there, and they had all those robots there. Oh, it's gonna be good. It'll be nice having all the robot dudes, you know. Bang my daughter.
Burial Ground.
Remind me of what's that movie we did?
Dr. Hephaestus, his name was.
Was it Burial Ground?
No, of course. No, that's the movie we did with the Robbie the Robot guy.
Robbie the Robot guy.
Spanish movie, you said?
No, it's a regular. It was one of the first movies we did. For World Unknown, maybe?
Oh, Forbidden Planet?
Is it? No, we didn't do Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, we did. We did Forbidden Planet, yeah. Yeah,
I think that was like the first one.
Yeah.
No, This Island Earth.
Oh, This Island Earth, okay.
I don't think they covered that one.
Yeah, I thought that Robbie Robot was in that.
No, Robbie the
Robot.
Robot.
That's why he's got that hot ass dog. They go to the.
No, that was Forbidden Planet. That was Forbidden Planet, yeah, with Robbie the Robot, yeah. That's what we did.
But no, the guy who they go to the planet and they have that hot ass robot.
Yeah, the guy with the guy from Naked Gun. Yeah, we did.
Really?
Yeah, we did that. But that was a good scene too. I mean, he just wanted to bang his daughter, and he had just a head and a body. And that was that guy was Sam Jaffe, who is a huge old time actor that went on to become the head of the Academy Board, the Oscars, and he went on to become a huge acting instructor that all these actors went to, and he's in this movie because he knew Roger Corman, and he worked and he was a friend of Roger Corman. That's why he was in here. That's why Roger Corman could get a lot of these guys, because they all wanted to work for him, because they all wanted to see how he did his craft. Yeah, they all understood the movies he was making, but what he went in to make these movies. I mean, this thing was filmed in a studio that he built himself in Florida. Wow. Because he didn't go through and do anything in Hollywood. He did everything outside of Hollywood. And that's why, he could do it cheaply. And that's why these guys could learn from him, because he did everything really outside the Hollywood system. You know, he wasn't tied into all that.
Respect, major respect.
But if you go back and look at his filmography, you know, going back from, if we can get real quick here, let's look at Corman here. I mean, you couldn't even announce all the stuff that Corman had a hand in, because it's just, he goes back to like
now
the
I want to see that
50s.
Fantastic Four. Did he direct the Fantastic Four that never came out?
He produced
he just, okay.
Yeah, he was producing most of this stuff. He did a lot of. He was always mostly a producer, but you know, he did. He made, and he was responsible for all those Edgar Allan Poe's Mask of Red Death, The Tomb of Ligeia. A lot of that stuff came from him. Queen of Blood. And then he started doing a lot of like biker things. The Wild Angels with Peter Fonda and Nancy Sinatra.
Peter Fonda, okay.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre he did. And then in the 70s, he was just all over the place. He did Targets, The Dunwich Horror, Bloody Mama with Robert De Niro. So a lot, pretty much anybody who's anybody. Jack Nicholson did a movie.
No way.
Too. He did. He did in the Terror with Bela Lugosi. Jack Nicholson got a start there, and of course he did. He was in Little Shop of Horrors, also another Roger Corman production. Roger Corman had so many of these classic genre films producing them in the 60s and 70s, and this was just one of many. So I guess other than that, let's see. Besides favorite character, I would say my favorite scene in the movie. I like probably the. I like the scene where he goes down and he meets the guy, the guy's daughter there, because they had all those goofy robots, and he wanted her to bang him and stuff like that. And he says, "I don't have time for this." And he takes off. That scene was good, and the scene where they're fighting off Saxon's army in the planet with that big stupid cannon laser thing they had there. It was like a sonic cannon or something like that. That was kind of cool. So yeah, I guess we could rate it. Any other favorite scenes you guys have, or any other things you like to say?
I just throw it out there. It's I like the scene with the whole the hand shit. I thought that was pretty cool, that they could psychically still control limbs that were detached. That was a cool idea. That just got me. I was like, okay, that's what kind of got me thinking, like, this could be reimagined like Dune was reimagined, and you'd have a really dope ass, cool, epic movie, which is what Hollywood loves right now.
I don't know if Hollywood can make this movie that good, though. I don't know. Corman's still alive.
Get this something to like someone like this concept to Zack Snyder, who would go crazy, bro. It sounds like his new movie is kind of based off this. It would have to be
a young director, like maybe a horror director or something like that, or a young director. I don't know. They could. I don't know if it really needs to be remade. Let's not remake anything anymore. Let's just make new stuff.
I know, man.
Or being influenced with. I mean, but Hollywood is a regurgitated machine.
Influence.
I mean, now they want to go ahead and they want to remake Harry Potter again.
Remake shit.
They want to remake Harry Potter for TV. I mean,
like my brother.
That's not a bad idea, though.
No, granted, the movies. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but granted, probably the movies didn't follow the books as much as they could have, and a TV show would probably follow it more. But do something else, man. It's been
literally. They have another book, The Cursed Child, that they could have done where it's like Harry Potter and them as adults and stuff. Like,
wasn't that like a play though?
It was a play.
Was that actually?
Then they adapted it into a novel. So that's what they were saying they were gonna do. But I guess supposedly there's shit going on with J.K. from a tweet she made or a comment she made. So.
That's not gonna stop
the actors are trying to stay, the original actors are staying away, but it's like you have a lot of people you're recasting for like to do the same thing over again. I guess the books are a lot darker. I do remember the books being a little darker, but I thought that they were the
No,
movies
they were great adaptations, but like I
yeah,
remember in particular, I really liked there was one the one with Robert Pattinson. I think it was the Goblet of Fire. Like I personally, I was never a big deep Harry Potter fan. Read the books; they're cool for what they were. I stopped at Prisoner of Azkaban, so the rest of the movies I didn't read the books for. And I remember thinking like Goblet of Fire was straight, it was solid. But my friend was like, "Nah, man, like there's so much they left out. Like Roderick's supposed to be a, you know."
those books are like this fucking big, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
obviously, but it's okay, so it's like, how are they going to do that? Because season 1, you get a book that's like this. Season 2, it gets a little bit. Each book gets bigger and bigger. So it's like, how are they going to do that? Is like the farther they go, is each, you know, when they get to Goblet of Fire, is there going to be 20 episodes instead of 10, like season 1 or
Or I
something?
mean, you know, look
Each
at
way, I feel
the
like you're not gonna. There's like, how are they gonna do that? You know what I mean?
look at Last of Us and Stranger Things, for example. Like they're experimenting with the format of hour and a half episodes when need be. Like they're just gonna structure the episode format to the story they need to
I guess
tell.
they could, but it's like then when you get to the season of Goblet of Fire or like Half Blood Prince, it's like every episode is gonna be like 2 hours. You know what I mean? Because depending on how many episodes per season, I mean, dude, Goblet of Fire. Like once you get to a Goblet of Fire, those books are literally like this thick.
Oh, they keep getting bigger. Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
after Prisoner of Azkaban, like I'd say the first 3 books are about, you know what I mean? They're like that. They're like, you know, but once you get to Goblet, bro, it gets crazy. And
But I mean,
I
with
love Harry Potter. I love the original. That's the thing too. It's like they're not that old. They're not that old.
there,
Ooh,
10, there's a decade now,
well,
bro.
the
It's been
movies,
like
yeah,
10 years since the last movie came out.
I
It
know,
doesn't
but
seem like that
like
to us, but
still,
look
that's why I
look at like
because
Transformers or like TMNT. They
like,
reboot that about every 10 years for a newer generation.
yeah,
Like
but
it
Transformers was never as big of a hit as these Harry Potter. To me, those Harry Potter movies are all perfect. Those Harry Potter
no, they're
movies
fantastic.
are great. But obviously,
yeah. I think if they should do anything,
I'm sure they left out a bunch.
why not do something in the world, but something different?
Well,
Or,
Fantastic Beasts was such a flop, but that a big part of that is because the drama with Johnny Depp. Because a lot of people
Yeah.
say that the second one is really good. It's like really dark. It's really cool.
Yeah,
But
had a
then
lot
the
of
third one, the first one was like, Second one, they're like, okay, step up. And then the third one, because of all the shit going
that
on,
miscasting. Yeah.
literally you have 3 people play Johnny Depp's character. Colin Farrell plays him, fucking
Mads Mikkelsen's.
and then yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a
Oh, is
mess
he?
with that.
Yeah.
But
well, somebody I read there was a meme now, and if you look at it, it's probably true. Is like if they recast since the guy who played Snape, Snow, who was it, Snape?
yeah, dude, you're trying to read Snape, dude. He was fucking so good.
That was what's his face, right? The guy from Galaxy Quest.
Alan
Yeah.
Rickman.
You know who played him? And the guy said it was a joke, but it's true. Freaking John Wick. Okay, him.
Keanu Reeves.
He looks just like him now with the long hair.
He does have the Snape shit going on, yo.
But
it shows you can get that. There's like in a movie, bro, in the 2.5 hours, 3 hours, because none of those. I mean, the last few movies might have been pushing 3 hours, but there's only so much you can do in that, as opposed to like you got 10 episodes and they're each like 45 minutes to an hour in a piece. You get more. You can draw out more characters as opposed to the movies. Don't get me wrong. I love that. I understand the love for the movies because they're fantastic films in their own right, but you can get more different ideas when with the show format. I feel like I don't feel like the wells run dry yet, where it's like I don't think it's a bad idea, but they could.
From what I hear, there's a lot of more things they could have done instead of just rebooting a series.
They need to do the Star Wars thing. Like they could do the show, but also like maybe a movie that progresses shit forward. Like it's Harry Potter's daughter or whatever. The movie's based off that one script you were talking about.
The only thing that they're saying with this new Harry Potter is that it's a complete, exact adaptation of the books. So it's like, other than that, it's like, what are you doing? Because we've already seen, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the first couple seasons are going to be like one for one because they adapted those pretty well. It's once you get more like Steph said, once you get to Goblet, because they're so big, they started not being able to fulfill the entire adaptation. They had to obviously leave a lot of stuff out.
There's so many science fiction and horror books out there, novels that are good that they could adapt. I'd rather see them go and do something new.
I mean, bro,
And
they literally use the exact same font. They use, it looks like for the thumbnail when they announced this Harry Potter, like I'm looking at it now, it's the same exact Harry Potter, like
They'll probably adjust it as they develop it, but as a teaser, just to.
it's all about nostalgia now, and
But then
getting
it's also
nostalgia out
too
there.
like they have the Harry Potter, the Hogwarts world at their, their
theme park.
amusement parks or whatever, their theme park. So it's like, I don't think they're going to change it too much, but it's like, are you going to create a new Hogwarts or are you going to keep it the same? It's like, what are you guys really going to do with this?
Okay, case in point, like the Dark Cloak, the Dementors or whatever they're called, like they could have an episode focused on someone who like experienced that or like had a battle with one of them. Such shit you couldn't really get into in the show.
Yeah.
And the last movie was cut into 2 halves. That's like what, maybe 6 hours. Even one season would still be able to do more because if you got 8 episodes and each 45 minutes to an hour and a piece, that's still more time than the 2 movies would allot.
So yeah, I've noticed a lot of people putting in comments for that when they announced that. They said like, do anything else but reboot. They're like, do a Marauders series, do a Tom Riddle series, a Hogwarts Founders series.
I wouldn't mind a
They
Hogwarts Founders.
were saying they wanted like a Snape prequel. They wanted
do stuff around the movies.
My girl, dude, watches Harry Potter almost every week. I swear to fucking God, every other week.
Get the 4Ks then.
She is. I know I need to get it, but luckily they're on HBO Max. So I was gonna get them for her brother. She's like, I watch them on. She's not as into the physical media like I am, but I do need it because I love Harry Potter myself. I grew up on that. That's her thing though. Like how but I love all that shit. I love Lord of the Rings. I love Harry Potter. I love Marvel. I love DC. I love all that shit. That is her like number one, Harry Potter. And she's like, do the war, the original war, like of Harry Potter's parents versus Voldemort and all that, like that war before. And almost kind of like a George Lucas thing where you do the prequels. That would be that wouldn't be bad because we don't know much about that first war with Harry Potter's parents and who is it, Sirius Snape and all them and what they went through with Voldemort before Harry Potter came. So that
might be their plan. I mean, I want to put it past them. Look at all the spinoffs we're getting from the Game of Thrones. Like they've got stuff beyond
They just announced something new for that too. A new spinoff for that.
So maybe they're using the show as like a launching pad for different ideas which I've crossed my fingers because that'd be a missed opportunity if they don't do that. I'm wondering
if they see like Fantastic Beasts kind of took a dive a little bit and
so they got to separate.
They're like, let's see how big of a fan base they really have and let's try this, and then if that does good then we'll stay in that world and do a prequel or something. And
I wouldn't even put it past them if the first season comes out and it's a hit. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce like before the second season comes out they've got a spin-off show coming out like some younger Snape years or like you said the battle with Harry's parents.
I feel like it'll be weird then because then is it okay, so if they do that, is it a prequel to the series or is it a prequel to the movies? And I'm guessing it'll be a prequel to the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending which, like if it flops, if it doesn't, I hope it's good. I want shit like that to be good because I'm a fan. But it is weird because it's not that old and those movies were pretty perfect. I would love to see them go darker with it. That would be cool. I mean, because it is a show. So I'm guessing
it's because everybody's bankrupt of ideas.
The whole thing though with the Max, I'm not a fan of that name, but the whole thing
me neither
with this app, with them doing this whole new app, because it almost seems like they're merging so much and they don't want to say like, oh, we have, what was it, this guy 3C, he was like, they were announcing all this awesome shit, welcome to Derry, and like they're doing a Gremlins thing and like animation thing, and then he's like, and then they announced like 90 days of my fiance's next season, and he's like, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
No,
I think they're trying to drop that HBO name because they know it brings so much, and then if they put like a
dilute
show
the
like
brand
that on there, they're like
Yeah.
it kind of ruins the HBO brand. So
Yeah,
I
but
think
Max makes me think of Cinemax, which means it gets me thinking I'm going to see nothing
yeah.
but like
You know what's
24
fucked up
hours
is
of
I think
Netflix.
that Penguin
I
show looks good as fuck. Sorry to cut you off, Steph.
no. I think Max when they did have an app for a while. They all had apps like Showtime. I think Cinemax's
Oh yeah,
app was called Max. Like, and
Yeah.
now they just taken the fucking name altogether.
maybe yeah, because there was because I thought they said Discovery Plus was merging into that, and that's why now I thought I heard that Discovery Plus is still gonna have its own app, so I'm confused about
Discovery Plus, Discovery Channel.
that. Well,
Discovery. That's what they merged with.
that's
Discovery.
what yeah, they
Oh,
bought
so we're gonna
another
get more
company, so
baby.
it's
What's her
gonna be
face
like
there?
it's like DC, Warner Brothers, Discovery Plus,
Who's that big
Yep.
baby there?
all
That
like
girl
merged.
there.
So it's gonna be like
Boo
one.
Boo, baby Boo Boo. Are we gonna get baby Boo Boo or what was her name?
I don't watch that.
But
Discovery Man is bad.
it's gonna be interesting. They're trying to say that this Max app is gonna have like everything for everyone. You know, I mean, I have HBO Max, so I should be like I think Max is coming in
Well, you
May.
know what it won't have is
And
most of,
June or May is
it's
the
not
launch.
gonna have most of the
Yes.
superhero shows because they
So that's
canceled
like
everyone.
next month. That's next month.
Yep.
At first, I was
Yep.
thinking May next year, but I'm pretty sure it's next month. So it's gonna be wild. Plus, also, it's like every single time you get a new app, there's always all these glitches and shit. So it's like the first month.
Have you looked at the prices? They've got like a weird thing where they've
Yeah,
got like
ads,
the ads, and then they've got something with no
ad-free,
ads,
and then
and then there's a
no
what
ads.
does that mean? So I'm still gonna get ads if I buy
You know
ad
what?
free? Like,
You know what I'm pissed about? That's what a lot of people are like. What the fuck does that even mean? And then so the first ad free is 1080p. The second ultimate ad free is 4K.
Yeah, I hate when
So
they
I'm
break
like,
out. It's like what
wow.
Netflix is
Are
doing.
you kidding me?
Netflix was the only one charging extra, and that's why I dropped them for 4K. It's like $10 more for 4K.
I'm about to
That's
drop Netflix because they
everybody's got
suck.
4K now. That should be standard. That's
Literally.
not costing
That's
more.
it's like so that's like saying like when fucking Snyder's Justice League came out, like I'd have had to pay extra to watch that in 4K.
To watch
Yes.
it how I'm supposed to watch it. Right.
You know what I mean? That's the only way I'm watching that movie is in fucking 4K. That pisses me off because obviously Scarpad knows I've been on a major 4K kick, and I paid for HBO Max already. So I'm wondering, are we gonna have to? Me and my family gonna have to upgrade to get the 4K? You know what I mean? It's like that's
Because
really
I know when a lot of these services, I think it was HBO Max. They came out with they said, okay, we're going to come out with a tier that has commercials.
yeah.
And people
Dumb
thought,
as
okay, well, I'll pay less and I'll get commercials. I'll watch a few commercials.
Right.
But what did they do? No.
Drop the quality as well.
No, the tier came out with commercials was the same price as what they were paying without commercials,
Oh,
and they
without
raised the one without commercials $3 more. So you got stuffed.
So what we're paying now is going to be the
Yeah, and then you got to pay
second
$4 more for the whatever. They'll do it again. I don't know.
It's going to fall in. It's going to collapse in on itself eventually.
And the trouble is, they're getting rid of physical media, so now this stuff, even the Netflix stuff, a lot of that stuff don't show up on physical media, so you have no other way of watching it.
It never.
Netflix
really
doesn't put any of their original shit
It's
on
like
physical media.
one.
They put out like 2
once in a
seasons of
blue
Stranger
moon.
Things, and then didn't put out 3 and 4.
Nope. Yeah.
They put out
They
one
did do,
season
like,
of Daredevil,
Haunting
and then
on
they put
Bly
out
Manor. They did like Haunting
Wow.
on Hill House and Bly Manor. You can get on physical release.
Yeah,
Like literally, like maybe 5 or 10%.
Sandman, that never came out.
Wow.
Which I'd love to have that on 4K. That's what I'm saying. Like Netflix never does any advertisement, so it's funny that you're gonna make people pay extra for ads when you guys don't fucking do any advertising.
Well, the problem is too. I mean, that Netflix is a great poster child for having a bad app. You can't find anything on it, and all their new stuff gets buried that you don't even
shit
know.
You don't want to see.
It's
Right.
like I didn't know that Guillermo del Toro show came out until Dylan told me. It was buried in the menus.
It was
wasn't even
buried
up there.
so far down, dude.
You never find it.
You can't
But
find
then,
it.
but all these like bad shows from like Dane from Danish shows, they're in the main feed, and the stuff that you want to watch is buried, like new movies.
Yep.
I hate Netflix.
I hate
terrible,
Netflix.
terrible thing. I
I
got rid of it.
Dude,
And the
I
problem
would
is
cancel it,
Netflix
but I
kills
know
most of their shows anyways before they end. So
my mom would probably be like, "No, don't cancel it," and it's like, "Fuck that
It's a
shit."
comfort app.
There's nothing I watch on it. There's literally
Same here.
nothing I can find. And then even if there is something, it's like I pull it up because I'm like, let's see if there's anything, and I like pull it up, and it's like there's so much, and you can't find what you want to watch. Where I'm just like, let me go to HBO Max. You know what I mean? Like, let me go to anything else.
It's got all the good shit.
or
Yeah.
Amazon.
One thing to literally go through their stuff.
Actually,
HBO
another
Max
service.
is probably my favorite app, honestly. That they got
Another service that I think that's getting
Yeah.
big now too is Apple. Apple Plus is a lot better than it used to be.
Apple
They have a
Plus
lot
is
of
a
good shows on it.
great, yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
tried getting
They
it.
just need more content, but the
Yeah,
shit they're putting out is quality.
Oh, no, they just raised their price lately. So
Of course.
They're still like $7 though. That they're still
$7.99, I
relatively.
think it was. It was $4.99. Now it's
Okay.
$7.99.
Shudder's one of the best just because even if they put out some crappy shit every now and then, they putting out so much and they're always adding classic.
Right.
And by the way, this Friday night,
stayed at $5 for literally.
this Friday night, my man Joe Bob Briggs
library.
is coming back. This Friday night.
This Friday,
Nice.
and that's the one of the biggest reasons why. Because I used to only get them during Halloween, but $5 a month, it's a no-brainer. They have so much good shit all the time. And Last Drive-In back. That's another thing. It's like I do that because I want the Last Drive-In to keep coming until Joe Bob is dead, man. Because he's killing. I think he's better than ever. Honestly, I think he's gotten.
Yeah, and I hope they keep on doing
like fine wine, man. He's gotten better.
I hope
Better
they
with
keep on
age.
doing those versions of the shows without the movie too. Because sometimes I like to just go in and watch his stuff.
Right.
I've seen the movie a million times,
Right.
But
yeah, I love.
Hey guys, before we wrap up this, what were we talking about?
We didn't give our score.
Yeah, we didn't give our score.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
What were we talking about?
Get the phases out. Have it ready. Mine still doesn't make any noise though.
We got you covered.
There we go. There we go. So go ahead. What do you think, Steph?
This movie was, nothing too special, but it's not terrible. There's a lot of charm to it. I like the world that was built. I like the colors, very colorful. It's just a fun sci-fi movie. It's nothing too deep, but like you said, I think they handled it. They had a nice balance of camp, and they were serious when they needed to be. It's serious-esque. I will give this a solid 2.69. The fact that you said this is connected to a lot of big names and what the path they made throughout Hollywood since this movie's been made, gotta give it. There's something to it for that. So I'll give it a strong 2.69. It's almost
anybody that's in the
me.
chat that wants to do it, go ahead and rate it. Go ahead. So 2.69.
Phasers.
Dylan, what do you think?
I think the music's pretty damn good. I think cinematography is very, very underrated for a Corman film. I think set designs are great. I think practical effects are really good. I love like the lizard guys. I love the white guys. You kind of get like you also get like you get those third eye guys, and then you also get like the Twilight. Remember, there's that alien Twilight Zone with the big heads. This guy that like you get so many variations. You get the guys with the split down their head. You get John Saxon. I did like this guy too. I forget like the guy in the robot outfit, or like I forget what he did again. That's gonna kill me. I love.
Yeah, there's a lot of variations. A lot of good.
A lot of variations, man. And then you also then you get the lizard guy too, who's like torturing the girl.
You kind of reminded me of the guy in the last Starfighter a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of great variations, a lot of great characters, man. I'm debating. I think I might agree with Steph. I think I might go 2.75. 2.75. I was debating on a 3, but I think it's not one I'm gonna watch all the time, but it is one that I've only probably known about this for maybe like 5 or 6 years. I found out about it a little bit. I've probably known Scarpat about 4 years now, and I probably found out about it like 2 years before I met him, because when he brought it up, I was like, that's when I saw on TV or some shit, and I was like, that's a good one.
And yeah, I think
I-
Two Gun said 3. You know, I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it.
I'll bump mine up to 2.75.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 because that's what I was gonna do initially, anyways. 3 phasers, bro. I honestly, especially some early James Cameron visual effects on there. I think that's it for a low budget movie like this, for the effects and and like, you know, the makeup and all that. I feel like that gives it a 3 automatic. Plus, now I'm thinking with that ending, that fucking Rogue One ending, that takes a ball.
Rogue One stole it.
Everything back in those days was like the happy ending where they jump in the air and then it just freeze frames.
Oh, I hate that shit. Remember that movie I sent you the other night?
We did it.
Yeah,
You know?
Oh yeah, did you watch that? I Come in Peace. Did you watch that, Dylan?
Yeah,
I sent that picture on one of the chats we have. I said there's every 80s movie in like this where they have they get hand to hand, they smile and it freezes. Yeah. But I still like that. I like that movie though. I Come in Peace. That was a good movie.
Every time I see, that's why I like certain movies, you know, like that's why I said when we did April Fool's Day, I was like, when they like do the thing and they're like dancing around and they do that close up of the guy, I was like, normally it would have ended right there every single time where they're like doing the dancing and shit and like you get the close ups. They always ended with some goofy thing of them just like partying, like, we did this shit, man. Where is it?
Well, that's right. If you watch have anybody seen the Naked Gun? Have you guys seen the Naked Gun TV show?
No, I didn't even know they did a TV show.
Oh yeah, it was based on a TV show, which is on a certain thing that we all do. But what they did in every episode of the TV show, at the end, they did the same thing. They would go like this. They'd laugh. They go and freeze, but they're
freeze
really
frame.
Yeah, but they're really there and they're trying not to move. And you can see
they're just frozen
and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
And people are coming up to him, looking at him, and things are going on. It's funny. You should watch that. It's real. The show was hilarious. All right. Well, I'm going to give it. Normally we don't do 6-9 because this is a family show with science fiction movies. But because of my girl Sybil, who of course I had to break this baby out.
I was gonna say she got her own figure.
That'll be on the stars.
One. They did like a bundle deal with that steel that I was showing off, Steph, and you could get that figure with it. I really wanted that figure too, but I was like,
yeah, that's sick looking.
It's a good looking figure.
It's a good figure.
That's the only one they ever did. The lizard guy deserves a figure. You could do like the whole line. I feel like
the white dudes. Come on, they definitely deserve. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like your little Power Rangers looking gun.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
It's kind of giving me Ahsoka vibes.
It's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so I'm going to say, because I go back to seeing this movie in the theaters and loving it as part of my teenage years, I'm going to give it a 3.69.
And we don't do 6-9.
Well, it's Steph did.
I'm doing this. I'm doing. I bumped it up to 7.5.
What are we talking about?
All right.
I bumped it up 2.75.
Okay, then 3.75.
The king of TNA.
Yeah,
the king of the bush.
That's
right.
The king of the
bush. If anywhere, 69 should be acceptable here.
He's like the guy from. He's like the guy from Hostel. He's like, I'm the king of the swing.
King of the push, man.
King of the bush.
But there was no 80s bush in this, but we did get Sybil's tata.
There's some good skin though. Yeah, the outfits.
So 3.75 for me. Yeah, that all up, I would say it's about a 3, which is good for this movie. This is top shelf. It's just top shelf Corman.
Top shelf Corman, definitely.
I would say there's other ones that go along, but top shelf.
Yeah. Great cast, great effects.
Great cast, great fun movie. Not that long, so hour and a half. Bing and bang out.
About 2 hours.
One of the better scripts for Corman film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't mind that it was like a riff off of Star Wars. You know, it was a fun. Good,
yeah, some of them there was
cool
a lot of riff of Star Wars, and some of them were really bad.
Right.
They weren't trying to jock like Star Crash, where they're trying to do lightsabers and everything.
Yeah, that was definitely a ripoff.
A huge ripoff.
Although this guy John Saxon, he had that killer weapon too. What was it called? Something. Remember? and then they got jammed when she crashed her ship in the thing.
I forget what it was called.
And but yeah, that's why you think it was cheesy and effects. Some of those beam effects that would sparkle the things.
Explosions, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the only bad. That everything else is dope.
Yeah, for the most part, it was pretty good. So I would give it a solid 3, and good stuff, top shelf stuff. So
heck yeah.
So coming up, it's not 9:01.
Robbie's not even live yet, though.
All right, so on Robbie's channel, Pop Culture Philosophers, that none of us are going to, at least not going to be on it. We'll probably watch it.
Yeah,
he's doing Goodfellas coming up. Because if we're going to be on it, we're fucking late.
Yeah.
And then, of course, coming up on Dylan's channel next week. Oh, a good one.
Hell yeah, Stephen King.
Maybe he's going to be on it. I didn't ask him because he just took off.
No, he's not going to be on it. Steph will be on it. Robbie's not.
No, yeah, that's what I meant.
That's how you said maybe Robbie.
But yeah, so you're gonna do The Mist.
Yeah, Stephen King's The Mist, directed by Frank Darabont. This upcoming Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Can't wait for that one.
I'm personally gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the black and white version.
Hell yeah!
You have that on the Plex, or is there somewhere around there?
I think by tomorrow, I think it will be somewhere. So you'll be able to see it. But yeah, and then next
watch it.
Yeah, and then next Monday, here we're doing our final movie for the month of April. We're doing Wing Commander with Freddie
you're not
Prinze.
doing nothing the week after, isn't it? I'm guessing that's the last Monday in April. Okay, I didn't look at the calendar.
Yeah, it's the last Monday in April.
I'm thinking next Monday. I'm like, isn't there a couple more days left in the month?
So last Monday. Yeah. So we're doing Wing Commander from the 1990s with Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, based on a huge video game franchise from the.
I've never even heard of it. I don't think I've ever even heard of this, so I'm interested.
Kind of like Starship Trooper vibes.
Yeah, very last Starship Trooper vibe. Go watch go search out the game footage up on. YouTube, you could watch the whole movie that had Mark Hamill in it. Was in the game movie.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah. So we'll do that next Monday. We're gonna do Wing Command, and then we're gonna open up May 1st, and then next week we'll have the list of everything we're doing. But I will give a little preview. The first movie in May will be 12 Monkeys. Terry Gilliam.
I know someone special that's going to be real excited.
I think this will be interesting too, because I think this is the first time I'm watching 12 Monkeys again after we're seeing Bruce Willis go through what he's going through. And Bruce Willis was excellent in that movie, one of his better films. And they just sent that video on YouTube with him and his family, and Bruce Willis is there with his birthday, and he really doesn't know who anybody is anymore, it looks like. And
really, I didn't even see that video.
Yeah, it's up on there. They were giving him a birthday thing, and he looked like he was still kind of with it, but he looked in pretty rough shape. So it's too bad. But
Arrow did a 4K for the 12 Monkeys. I got to pick that up.
Yeah, I had the Arrow Blu-ray version of it.
Oh, do you?
Which will be fine. I always liked the movie, and we'll talk about that.
4K would probably be worth it, but I'm sure Blu-ray is good too.
Yeah, so that'll be 2 weeks from today, and the next week, Wing Commander. Make sure you come in here, watch that, and watch The Mist next Monday, and make sure you go over to Robbie if he'll be on in a couple minutes doing Goodfellas, and watch Brooks go. I thought it was all right. I'm sure he did.
It's pretty good. Hey, no, that's the one he might go. Pretty damn good.
No surprise. Yeah,
could be pretty damn good. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming in here. I hope you had a good night watching Roger Corman extravaganza here. Get your phasers, send them to kill, and we'll catch you all next week.
That sucker got a kick.
It kicks like a phaser, motherfucker.